President Volodymyr Zelensky stated during a press briefing on August 20 that the US and its partners are already working on the architecture of security guarantees and that Ukraine plans to have a ready configuration for negotiations with Putin. He noted that Kyiv aims to understand the architecture of security guarantees within 7 to 10 days and, with this understanding, secure a trilateral meeting. According to Zelensky, Trump had proposed a different approach, suggesting a trilateral meeting following a bilateral one. However, they ultimately agreed that they would continue working on the security guarantees and obtain an approximate infrastructure similar to Article 5. Zelensky emphasized that what Ukraine has today is political support for these guarantees. He also highlighted that until the last meeting in Washington, the US had not been a direct participant in discussions regarding the guarantees. Zelensky said that the readiness of the US to join these discussions is very important for Ukraine and for all of Europe, and he expressed his gratitude to President Trump. The Ukrainian leader added that the positive signal from Washington opens the way for a broader coalition of countries. Zelensky stated that Ukraine considers it fair for a potential bilateral meeting between the Ukrainian president and Vladimir Putin to take place in neutral Europe. Regarding Turkey as a venue, he explained that the country is a NATO member and part of Europe, and therefore Ukraine has no objection to holding the meeting there. At the same time, Zelensky stressed that meetings in Moscow are not possible. Regarding Budapest as a venue, he noted that it would be difficult because, in his words, Budapest had not supported Ukraine. The president also stated that China cannot serve as a security guarantor for Ukraine, explaining that the PRC had assisted Russia by opening its drone market to them and had been a signatory of the Budapest Memorandum, but did nothing when Crimea was occupied. Zelensky further noted that the exact number of countries willing to deploy troops as part of security guarantees for Ukraine is not yet known, but that there are 30 countries in the coalition of willing participants potentially considering their involvement. The Ukrainian leader also described as nonsense the information claiming that Russia would occupy the entire territory of Donetsk Oblast by the end of the year, adding that the enemy would need another 4 years to achieve that. He explained that Russia had occupied all of Crimea and a third of Donetsk Oblast without a full-scale war, and after the war began, Russia had occupied roughly another third. Zelensky emphasized that Ukraine legally does not recognize the occupation of temporarily occupied territories.